The novel coronavirus, COVID-19, has spread across the globe, devastating economies and causing panic buying. Dherbs CEO A.D. Dolphin recently sat down with Dr. Habib Sedeghi, founder of the Beehive of Healing, an integrative medical center in Agora Hills, California, that specializes in chronic illnesses such as cancer and autoimmune diseases. A.D. and Dr. Sadeghi discussed the COVID-19 outbreak, causes, possible solutions, and ways to help people maintain both physical and mental health during the lockdown.
So I'm glad we're having this forum here. You know, it's been a long time coming. I want to make a quick introduction. This is my favorite doctor on the planet, Dr. Sadeghi. He's probably one of the best doctors in the world. If you have any kind of issues, definitely this is the guy. This is the only guy I would actually go to, bar none.
Thank you, lady. Thank you.
Absolutely. So we're living in a crazy time right now.
Yeah, very unpredictable.
Yes, you know, this coronavirus got everybody, you know, a little uneasy. And I really wanted you to like clear it up, clear the air, and kind of give everybody, explain what the coronavirus is exactly, how you can get it, all those kind of typical questions that people really need answers for now.
Yeah. A good place to start would be to start with a virus that we've heard of, okay? You tell people about, you know, herpes virus, they understand that we have 8 forms of herpes virus. There is herpes type 1, which is cold sore. Over 90% of populations, they get it. Not a big deal.
Right.
You go outside, you're in the sun, you get a little cold sore. There's genital herpes, okay, that's considered to be sexually transmitted disease. Then there is Epstein-Barr. Then there is cytomegalovirus. And then there is varicella chickenpox, which is a form of herpes. It can come when you're a kid as a chickenpox. Reactivation of it, it's called zoster or shingles.
Okay.
And then there's, and then we have type 6, which is called 6 disease or roseola infantum. Usually you see it in kids. And then there's type 7 and 8. Mostly when when human beings are immunocompromised, they get type 7, type 8.
Okay.
So we just covered the human herpes virus.
Right.
So when you look at human coronavirus, right, they're like different types.
I didn't know that.
And what's fascinating is you look back to 2003, that's when we had SARS.
Right.
And, and it's whether it's a coincidence or not, 2003 is also when we had, 3G technology. And,
okay.
And it's like you fast forward to 2009 or whenever the 4G came out, then we got the swine flu.
Right.
Right. And so
it's a big connection.
well, what we're doing is we're not really here to answer any questions, but we just want to open up questions.
I get it.
Right. You look at the first place on the planet, which was Wuhan, China, and they carpeted it with 5G technology.
Absolutely.
And that's where the crucible of where the virus, came out.
Right.
Right. So when you look at it from that perspective, this idea of what we're doing to our environment and the electrification of our world, and doesn't have anything to do with all these viruses popping out, and it's worthy of considering.
Right. The one thing that you mentioned to me off camera is that we have billions of viruses within our system.
Over 300 billion.
Over 300 billion. And what you also mentioned is that when certain frequencies or certain radiations are introduced into our atmosphere, then sometimes that stimulates our body a certain way. I wanted you to be able to share that with them so they can kind of get an understanding when you say 5G, a different frequency, 4G, a different frequency, and, all these different things that are happening to people.
No problem. Yeah. Before going to medical school, I was a medtech microbiologist, which simply means a good portion, over 12 years of my life, I was in a dark room looking through a microscope and just, swimming with viruses and microbes and studying them in the field of microbiology, bacteriology, virology, and so forth. And most human beings, they think that, there's a trash can there, and all of a sudden, spontaneously, there is a rat, and the rat just creates a virus.
Right.
Or the bat. or, but that's really not the reality. Part of my training as an anthroposophical physician, and let me explain, because usually in the United States, when you say anthroposophical physician, people say bless you because they think you just sneezed. But in Europe, it's really, it's an incredible system-based approach to health. And, one of the founders was Rudolf Steiner, who started many things, including biodynamic farming, okay, a lot of the quality of the herbs and so forth that they use. I know that you pay attention. You pay attention to the quality because you understand that the quality, the way that it was harvested and so forth, it actually affects us physiologically. That's why so many people, they reach out and your products are sought after. So
Right.
biodynamic farming was started by Rudolf Steiner. Rudolf Steiner also started the Waldorf education. So the anthroposophical medicine was Rudolf Steiner, and you go back to 1917, I think it was September 1917, that the first electrification of Earth started. And it was just with something that now we don't even pay attention to, which is radio wave.
Right.
You see all these channels like FM this and 103, 105, all that, there are various different frequencies that they're being transmitted, but they're invisible to the eyes.
Right.
But they affect us. The first time that it comes out shortly after, we have the Spanish flu that over, I think, 500 million people got infected with Spanish flu, right?
Right.
And then you come up to World War II, and that's when we actually had the radar. Now, all of a sudden, the entire planet is carpeted with radar.
Right.
And then you have another, pandemic, right? You come up to 1965 with Hong Kong, and now we started sending out satellites in the parts of outside of the Earth. There's Van Allen belt. That's the area where radiations from sun, radiations from moon, radiations from all these planets, they come, they integrate, and they're supposed to trickle down all over Earth. You see, the reason that we have 7 days is because back then, the telescopes that we had, we could only see 7 planets around Earth.
Oh, okay.
Monday is named after moon, right? So when you really, Sunday, it's after sun, right? Saturday, it's after Saturn. So there is a system way of approaching because we're placing all these satellites outside in the Van Allen belt. That's when the problem starts. And you fast forward to something like 5G technology that they've placed not one, there are 20,000 satellites surrounding Earth that it's carpeting the entire Earth. So it's very difficult to be a human being from the perspective of being a spiritual being, having a human experience.
So is it because this new technology, this new frequency, are these new frequencies causing like flu-like symptoms in our body? Is that what's going on? Or what? How does it occur, basically?
No problem. Great question. So when we get a new technology, right? When you look at, we have trillions of cells. Inside every cell, we have pieces of RNA, DNA, we have proteins.
Right.
So when you get electrified, say when you get a radio wave or when you get a 5G, which is new to our body, think of it as a piece of RNA or DNA or protein comes off.
Okay.
And then the body wants to excrete that part. So the way that it excretes it, it's self-organized into a virus. Once the virus, as an excrement, as a waste product, which is the side effect of the new technology, once it comes out, it can simply, now all of a sudden, Kenny gets inflicted with it, and then Kenny will give it to the next person, and it'll just grow.
And it grow from there.
But this idea that it grows from a bat or this or that, that's naive. That's reductionistic.
Okay.
So the idea and what I want us to consider is that could it be that all these radiations, all these electrifications, they're causing a shift and a change that our body is contributing and producing all these self-organizing viruses in an attempt to tell us stop introducing all these technologies, because it's getting very difficult to be able to be a human being on this planet.